Today we're looking at KrolleBolle, a Gold 1 Illari. They made a post on the Overwatch University subreddit where they wrote, I am hard stuck in gold since ages. I'd like to have a VOD review. I am playing Illari. Some major mistakes are positioning maybe, my aim. I would really like to know. I know my reflexes are kind of slow. I am not so young anymore. And surely sometimes I put myself in a bad spot. What can I do better? This match we lost in overtime. So what really drew me to this post is not only is it an Illari VOD, and I've yet to do one of those, but you do mention you are an older gamer. Now, you didn't mention how old you are, but me personally, I'm 31, and I don't consider myself old by any means, but I definitely don't have the same reflexes and mechanics that I did in my 20s. Like certain things, for example, close-range duels, I find myself having a lot more trouble aiming and tracking now compared to what I used to. So it can be tough for us, but fortunately, Overwatch is not so much about aim as it is decision making. So sure, we may not have the same mechanics as these young kids, but we can still outsmart them, and that's hopefully what I'll help you do here. So getting right into the VOD, first thing we always want to do is take a look at our team comp. So we got Junker Queen, Reaper Echo, Illari Mercy. So ideally, I think Echo Mercy should play together. I like Echo's name, by the way. Probably a Habib fan. But anyway, Junker Queen, and Reaper should all play together as a unit. They should focus the same targets, and I'd like you to play behind them. Close enough you can get your beam in if necessary, but, keep yourself safe, play behind cover, and then also throw your healing pylon out of LOS of the enemy team behind that cover, where Reaper and Junker Queen can back into it if necessary. So that's ideally how I think this comp should be played. Let's see how it actually goes.
I'll see this no matter what.
There's a junk trap right at your feet. You want to be careful of that. Fortunately, we don't step in it, though. You can outburst if Ran gets too close to you, but what I wanted to talk about is to start on Route 66, and not just for Illari, but I do this for like Ana, Bap, Kiriko too, is you can go up this high ground here. You can follow your team, follow your Junker Queen, and as they push and engage, you can try to attack from the high ground here. See how people are much more exposed as opposed to, down here where you're kind of just waiting for people to push around the corner. So you might just have a little bit more opportunity here. You're distracting them. You're giving them another area that they have to look at. What I always talk about as far as off angling goes. And worst case, if you do get pressured, you can drop down to your team where you are now. Just things to think about, especially for a first point Route 66. It looks like your Echo's playing up there, so we could think about supporting her too. See how you're kind of just waiting for people to be in your LOS? I just feel like you'd be a lot more effective on high ground. Good outburst. Well, looks like our team cleans up. We could think about following our DPS. It could be risky for them alone. Ooh. Yeah, Echo should have realized that she was by herself, so not necessarily your fault, but at the same time, we could have thought about, going out to support her. But now that Mercy's doing that, we could think about, instead of holding this area, I like to hold this back high ground here, where I can see my team and support them. I can still get, the vision of those two lanes where it looks like you're looking right now. And then also I can strafe to see this door right here if people push through. I just feel like this is just a much more effective position, and you have a lot more, you have better sight lines and control of everything that's going on.
I'm on the Pylon. Get over here. Fall back.
Whereas here, it seems like you're kind of just waiting for people to push up. You can't see your team. If they need your help, if people start pushing down this low area, you're not going to be in a good position to support them. And then also, like, you're using the healing pylon just for yourself too. So, it's okay to take these angles if you're trying to actively make a play. But, in this waiting phase where you're waiting for the enemy team to come to you, I would think about, playing back behind your team a little more.
Helping you out.
Yeah, like Arisa's pushed into our team. We need to think about helping them now. Yeah, good outburst to get Junkrat away. But yeah, Echo died. Oh, that's unfortunate. You killed Junkrat and the passive dropped on Mercy. But yeah, like Echo died. We're not even aware of it. Reaper's really low. I'd really like to see you just playing in an area where, you can see them and address their health pool if it gets low. Because unless you can just, like, get 3 kills, it's going to be tough, even, like, if your team is dying around you to still be effective. Or I should say not to be effective, but to win the fight. Fortunately, your Junker Queen pops off, so...
The payload has reached the checkpoint.
Pylon's location.
You could throw the pylon up around one of these corners.
Healing pylon out.
Reaper pops off with the Blossom, and, I don't necessarily think it was bad to follow up, but at the same time, we're kind of just looking for damage. It can be a little risky. I mean, Reaper got antied. There wasn't really anything you could do there regardless, but it's just like I was saying. I'd really like to see you position somewhere, where you can support your team if need be, especially between fights like here, instead of just waiting. Playing by yourself, using the pylon for yourself, basically playing Illari 76. I'd like to see you play a little bit more as a support, just being ready to help your team and follow up on what they're doing too, if need be.
Healing pylon deployed. I am ready to unleash my ultimate. Advancing up. Group up with me.
Yeah, we could try to maybe get a nice captive sun through that doorway. It's just they have an Orisa, so we want to be a little bit careful about her spinning our ult. They do have a Kiriko too, so... Okay.
All systems on optimal level.
Yeah, it's tough to notice these mistakes where your team's mostly rolling, but yeah, if your team was struggling a little bit more and dying, that would be your fault for just being in these positions playing all by yourself.
Let's take him to the wasteland.
You did indicate this was a loss though, so we'll see how the game goes as you continue this playstyle.
Healing pylon out. Sure. Yeah. Fall back.
You could think about taking the high ground up here. Think about where your pylon is, too. It's like a Torb turret. If it's not actively being shot and the cooldown goes down, you can always think about just moving it around. Like, at this point, this position isn't going to help us anymore. We could think about, throwing it here, throwing it here. Yeah, that's what I would do to start. And then, as we continue to push up, when the cooldown comes back, we can think about moving it around again. I just always want you thinking about, like, just the best position for your pylon. Okay, there we go. And see, you got the cooldown back. If it's not getting shot, if you guys push up, you can think about moving it around again. That's unfortunate. Yeah, they came in with a few ults, so that's okay. So you have your captive son. We just have to, like I said before, play around the javelin spin and then the Kiriko cleanse too. Like, especially if you see Kiriko pop her cleanse, that is a prime opportunity to come in with ult. I would just try to be thinking about playing around that. Nice. Weird res by their Mercy, but that's okay. You can capitalize on it, hopefully. Yeah, so playing down here is a little risky, you know. We could try to take an angle, you know, where we're not, like, straight down main. You know, we could also think about, like, hopping up on high ground, just where we'll get more vision. Things we can do instead of just, you know, playing back here. I just feel like you'd be a little bit more effective. You'd have a little bit more opportunities for damage, and yeah, you might keep yourself a little bit safer too. Instead of, like, being, like, out in the open here, if you do get focused down, it'll be a couple seconds before you can duck behind somewhere. Whereas, like, say you were, like, playing up on this cart here, you know, you'll have the same vision of your team, better vision to go for damage, and if somebody starts attacking you, boop, just drop down here and you're good. Once again, your team is rolling, and it's really hard to think about these things when you're not being punished for it, but those are just very, very general tips. That's a good pylon spot. Nice up and high where the team has to really turn around and look up to address it. We probably should have been healing Mercy there, but... Nice, not bad. Yeah, pretty solid. I'd like to see you take some high ground and just not play for yourself so much. Like, to take a spot that's where you can see your team to support them, especially, you know, in between fights where you're setting up and waiting for the enemy team to push. But yeah, let's see how defense goes.
I carry my burden.
Ready for battle. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Attackers incoming.
Yeah, I don't hate this. Just want to be really careful, especially like if they have a widow or something. You don't want to get sniped. But yeah, once you know their team comp, this is fine. I think we might have been able to save Bastion there, but... yeah, be really careful about getting in the Reaper's face. Yeah, this is risky once again, where, you know, we're just kind of looking for damage, but we can't see where our team is. I just think to start, at least for now, I really want you thinking about just playing in positions, you know, where you can support your team and where you can follow up on what they're doing.
We must hold the
I'll
payload.
walk a different path this time.
Enemy tunnel.
Unless you can really, really pop off, like you're hurting your team by not giving them the the healing and support that they need by doing that.
Fixing that. The payload plus.
We go after the Torb turret. Also, we shouldn't play back here now that they've capped point. Our Orisa died, so we definitely all need to back out. I would go through this tunnel and think about, setting up, somewhere around this area. Yeah, like don't even continue to hang around here. Very risky with Orisa going after you. Yeah, just walk into them and die. Yeah, I mean, that wasn't necessarily your fault. That was your whole team in general. But once they capped, and then once Orisa died, you all should have thought about just getting out of there ASAP.
Join me. Band together. Join me.
Don't touch me.
Band together.
Yeah, so let me back that up a little bit because you kind of got caught in the door with the Torb spam. So your team's pushing out. We go to follow them. And then we see Torb and he starts looking in our area. He gets our pylon. Instead of backing out here where you're kind of, trapping yourself in this area, I would have thought about making the same rotation that your Bastion and Mercy did. Where you could have used this cover, this pillar to keep yourself safe from the Torb, but you still would be able to poke around and contribute to the fight. Whereas, if you back up here, like your Torb's cut you off. You basically, you can't do anything or be like, you can't do anything at all without risking getting spammed out. And that's exactly what happened here. So yeah, just try to think about the areas you're rotating. Just try to think about if you're going to get cut off like that. It's a little tough, but I just think maybe you're trying to keep yourself safe, but you just want to think about not getting cut off from your teammates.
The payload has reached the checkpoint.
Healing Pylon out.
And Mercy's had enough. She's going Moira. Yeah, we can poke, try to get the turret. And then as our team pushes up, we want to push up too. We could think about moving the pylon up.
Stay close. I'm trying to help. Positioning.
Okay. Nice. Yeah, this is much better. Playing back, supporting your team, and you can go for damage when your team doesn't need the healing.
Stay near my pylons.
And if your Bastion's holding this high ground here, this is a good place for you to hold as well.
Face the sunrise.
Nice. You got both supports, but we were kind of looking around there. Yeah, we missed the opportunity to heal Orisa.
No more suffering
Para
for you.
reporting. Perimeter secure.
It's okay though. We still win.
Enemy turret destroyed.
You can go after the Mercy. Just be looking around, make sure you're aware of where your team is.
Quédate cerca para que puedas tirar.
Yeah, not much to say. Your team's doing really good. You guys are holding well right now. Yeah, you don't want to tunnel vision the damage on the Orisa. Think about backing out. Outburst, perfect. Yeah, don't focus on the, so just the thing about target focus, like Orisa, you know, she's got the Mercy Beam on her. Your damage isn't going to do much except maybe farm up a little more ult charge. But like if you see the Reaper pushing into your team like that, he should be your #1 priority just to, you know, just to help peel and keep you guys safe. But he does back out anyway, so that's good. You get rid of the Torp turret. Perfect. Nice. Go after the Ana. You want to shoot the Ana again to... Ooh. Nice try. I just, once you got the Captive Sun on the Ana, I would have just focused her instead of the Orisa just to ensure we got the Sunstruck effect, and maybe we would have killed her. Be a little careful about pushing in, but yeah, it's another weird res by their Mercy, so hopefully we kill Orisa. Nice, good stagger.
Stay near my Pylon. What killing? Hurry up.
It's okay to hold here to start. I just want you to be prepared to back up if need be. Yeah, like another thing too, like if you see your team pushing in there, actively trying to make a play, you could think about, you know, maybe dropping and supporting them instead of just continuing to hold the angle. Just always try to pay attention to what your team's doing and try to follow up on it. That can be really effective, especially in gold. And then once you get better, once you get a little bit more comfortable, you can try to like go off and, you know, make your own plays yourself.
Repositioning Pylon.
Think about setting up your Pylon somewhere. Yeah, we definitely need that Pylon up. Yeah. I mean, granted, at that point, it was too late, but that whole time we did not have our healing Pylon up. I would have thought about just throwing it up around here. You know, somewhere where, you know, it would have been healing our Echo Copy, it would have been healing our Diva, and, you know, maybe we would have just been high enough health and have enough sustain to avoid some of these deaths. That's the round. Yeah, I don't know if it necessarily would have countered the Reaper Blossom or anything, but it definitely would have given us a much better fighting chance.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Attackers incoming.
The same thing, be careful until you know their team comp. Last thing you want is to just get sniped by a Widow, but nice shot. Yeah, your healing Pylon's way out there. Nobody can get use from it. I would just try to think about setting it up somewhere else now. Yeah, you know, you outbursted into Reaper. So for one, you move in the direction you're going. So I would just think about, you know, moving away from Reaper as you use that, just to keep yourself safe. Maybe use it even a little bit sooner, as soon as you see him pushing into you. But the other thing too is we just, like I said before, we always want to think about moving our healing Pylon around. Just identifying if it's what value we're getting out of it at the present moment. Like if it's up in that corner, where it still is now. Like, nobody is making use of that right now. You know, we should have thought about just constantly moving it around depending on where the fight's taking place.
What awaits us beyond this plane?
I'll walk a different path.
30 seconds remaining.
Yeah, so we lost our tank. Okay, we got one pick, but yeah, everyone else is dead. This is the smart decision. We need to get out of here. Wait for a full regroup.
We won't lose. Group up here.
Yeah, you can support your soldier. You just want to be a little careful. Nice job by your Sigma. That's a little bit of a risky spot. Just because see how the Pylon is just out in the open where people could easily just look at it, like Farah could just, you know, two-tap it. I would think about putting it somewhere, you know, maybe back here or back here. Somewhere where, like, if the enemy team pushes up, they have to turn around and look at it. Whereas when it's out in the open here, it just, it's probably going to get burst down a lot faster. Fortunately, it's gold and no one really looks at it, but... Good hold. Let's see how attack goes.
Ready for battle. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Attackers incoming. Escort the payload.
I'm on the payload. You're hurt. Let me see.
Yeah, so that's really weird. I don't know why our Echo and Mercy are playing low ground. Like, there's no reason you should be dying to a Rhine or a Brig like that. You know, it's like I said at the very beginning, we could have thought about going on the high ground to maybe, like, try to make an active play. Like, we might have been able to go after their Mercy, but, yeah, at the same time, your team threw that fight. Not really your fault. We just gotta regroup for the next fight.
I don't have time to be weak. Stay in range if you want my help.
Like how you're going for damage. Don't tunnel vision, though. We want to turn and look at our team, too. Like, that was a really nice kill on the Mercy. I want you thinking about, like, just paying attention to your teammates. Like, look, we see Sigma's low. Our priority now should just be healing him, making sure he's not crit anymore. And, you know, then we can turn back, look for more DPS. Yeah, we're not looking at Sigma at all. Like, granted, soldiers in our backline, so that's good to get him to go away. But, yeah, like, our Sigma Mercy died. We did not address their health pool once. Good kill on the Mercy. The moment you do that, turn, look at your team, make sure they're okay. You know, then you could go back to damage. I think it was really good to make the soldier go away, put pressure on him. But, you know, once he wasn't actively threatening your team, once again, turn, look at your Sigma, look at your Mercy, make sure they don't die. You know, then you can turn back and try to fight the soldier. It's a little risky. But our DPS do pop off, so that's really good. So it looks like you're holding this area again. Once again, I'd like to see you on that back area, but we already talked about that. I really want to see how you use your ult, because that's going to be crucial. Ooh. Let me actually watch that again. So you hit the top corner of Rhine's shield, and you still got Rhine with the sudden struck, but Brig blocked it. Yeah, I mean, maybe you could go after, like, the Bastion Mercy while they're vulnerable over there. That's a little tough. I don't necessarily think this was terrible, but if you're going to go after Ryan Brigg and just get them out of the fight, I would try to aim the captive son like on the floor to the side of them. That way their shields won't be a factor. Like if you had just aimed it like right at the floor, like right here, you still would have got Ryan, you still would have got Brigg. Yeah, it just would have been a lot more effective. And then we could have turned and tried to get the Sunstruck detonation on Brigg from there. That's just my thoughts. Good job using cover. Where's your pylon? Ooh. Yeah, we could have thought about maybe throwing up the pylon, but that's it's a little tough too.
I won't fail again.
Moira by your side.
We also could have waited on I think we might have been able to wait on the captive son a little bit, until people were a little more grouped or something. But it's tough. And that's the game. So yeah, nice try. I think, especially in the beginning, you were kind of taking your own angles, finding a certain space, a certain couple lanes to hold. But you were LOSing your team. You couldn't see what was going on with them. There were a couple times that, like I remember Echo died early, then Mercy died, and we couldn't turn to address our teammates' needs until it was too late. So, I would always, like, if you're going to wait between fights, if you're going to set up somewhere, I would really think about just trying to do it somewhere, like, not necessarily with your team, but, like, where you can get vision of them so you can help them and address their needs as needed. That was good. And the other thing with the pylon, I'd like to see you just constantly moving it around, just reassessing like where the fight's taking place, like a nice safe space, LOS from the enemy team where, you can keep it up. Your team can back into it as they need it. That will be really helpful as well. But that's all I have for now. Let me know if you have any questions or comments. If anyone would like to request a VOD review, check the link in the description, and best of luck with your climb.